The Young and the Restless spoilers for the week of March 24, 2025 are here. Next week, fans can expect Traci Abbott to realize Laurent might not be who he claims to be. Meanwhile, Michael Baldwin learns about a Genoa City connection to Aristotle Dumas. There is also Phyllis&Billy, who could rope Billy Abbott into investigating the kidnapping. Keep reading and let's talk about what is coming up next week in the CBS soap opera. Laurent's twist. During the week of March 24, fans will see Traci be excited about her upcoming wedding to Alan. However, she is also starting to suspect that he might not be himself. Traci is aware that Alan has a twin, Laurent. However, the bad twin was killed. Or was it actually Alan? In any case, Jack Abbott's words seem to have sparked a revelation for Traci. Traci Abbott's imposter theory. When Jack said that Alan was full of surprises lately, it made Traci think. The writer could realize that Jack is right. Traci could start to connect the dots, but that could also put her in grave danger. Now, Martin said not to meet him in Paris for a few days as he was setting up a surprise. Could that surprise be that he's making the arrangements for an experiment? Could Traci end up being the next person caught in the madman's prison? Phyllis&Billy and Billy Abbott investigate. The Young and the Restless spoilers for next week reveal that Phyllis seems to be headed for some kind of breakdown. Phyllis and Sharon Newman were rescued from the double kidnapping. While Sharon has quickly gotten back to her normal life, Phyllis is falling apart mentally. Then, a preview clip shows Phyllis sobbing outside a restaurant. Phyllis says that Daniel Rumalotti, Jr., and Summer Newman can't see her like that. After a few moments of awkward silence, Billy asks what he can do. That was a bad question as Phyllis already knows what to ask of him next. Week of March 19, 2025. There is also the situation with Damian Kane and Holden Novak. While Claire Grace Newman is happy with Kyle Abbott, it's being targeted by two curveballs. One is named Summer, and the other one is Victor Newman. It seems Claire will have to make an impossible choice soon enough. Also, Victor tells Michael that he has a history with Dumas. What kind of history? Why hasn't Victor mentioned this before? Is Aristotle Dumas a codename or alias for someone fans already know? Which storyline are you looking forward to seeing the most? Share your thoughts in the comment section below. Remember to keep watching the soap on CBS or Paramount Plus to find out what is coming up next. Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel Pulse Canvas. It's me, Julie here. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Keep watching. So let's dive into today's video. The Young and the Restless spoilers for the week of March 24-28 reveal that Jack Abbott will face some alarm bells while Billy Abbott comes to the rescue. Michael Baldwin will also investigate, so let's talk about all the surprises coming up in Genoa City. For starters, Phyllis&Billy's unsettling behavior will remain a concern for Summer Newman. Although Summer is legitimately worried, she may use her fear as another way to pull Kyle Abbott closer. Summer has definitely been leaning on Kyle a lot lately, so more Phyllis drama could give her a chance to bond with him again. Claire Newman has been trying to act unbothered by Summer's actions, but she may be pushed to her breaking point sooner or later. As for Phyllis, she'll do her best to avoid her kids due to her downward spiral. It's clear that Phyllis isn't in a great place emotionally, so she'll refuse to let Summer and Daniel Rumalotti Jr. see her struggling. However, Phyllis will let Billy come to her rescue, so she'll make a suggestion about a way he can help her. Billy has been known to take women up for some rooftop yelling, so that might be an option if Phyllis needs to scream her head off and release some anxiety. As for Diane Jenkins, Abbott she'll remain eager to show off the Abbott mansion renovations. There's no confirmation yet on when exactly Diane will unveil the changes, but she'll continue to feel confident Jack's going to love the updates when the time comes. Jack's mind will ultimately be on other things since Traci Abbott's about to set off some alarm bells. Traci will connect some troubling dots and realize Laurent may not be who he claims to be. Will Traci suspect Laurent is alive for another twin switcheroo? Regardless, Traci will have a terrible feeling about Alan's true identity and the threat her fiancé poses. Why and R fans also forget about the hardware store security footage, since Chance Chancellor is having that analyzed. It surely won't be long until Alan comes into view on the video, so Chance will get a major clue about who bought the apparatus from the captivity game. On a happier note, Adam Newman and Chelsea Lawson will enjoy the closeness of their romantic reunion. Now that Chelsea and Adam have hit the sheets again, they'll agree this feels right and will keep embracing their fresh start. At the athletic club, Michael will feel the need to investigate after Victor Newman hints at his past with Aristotle Dumas. Since Michael will grill Victor about his history with Aristotle, Victor will spill some disturbing details and maybe even some regrets. It sounds like there's some bad blood between Victor and Aristotle, so they could be gearing up for another round of feuding in GC down the road. The Young and the Restless spoilers say the week of March 24-28 will bring some eerie predictions and jaw-dropping news, so stay tuned. The Young and the Restless spoilers reveal that Phyllis Summers is dealing with some scary symptoms that could spell trouble. Could Martin Laurent aka Alan Laurent have arranged for some delayed poison effects? During Phyllis' time in captivity, she drank a bottle of water and became seriously ill soon after. Phyllis was in total agony due to the burn in her stomach and might have faced a grim fate without the antidote Sharon Newman found. However, there's no guarantee that antidote was safe since it came from a madman. It's possible that Phyllis was given something to counteract the poison while setting her up for more health issues later. Phyllis felt relief initially, but now some delayed poison effects could be kicking in if that's what Twisted Martin had in mind. We certainly wouldn't put it past Martin to create some other sinister layers to his scheme. In Y&R's March 19 episode, Summer Newman gave Sharon and Nick Newman some alarming updates on Phyllis following the kidnapping ordeal. According to Summer, Phyllis seems off and has been exhibiting some erratic behavior. Summer's used to Phyllis being super focused, but now she's scattered and losing her train of thought in a simple conversation. It's possible Phyllis is dealing with PTSD or just having a rough time adjusting to her real life again. That said, there's a chance something more serious is going on here. Sharon and Phyllis were checked out by paramedics following all the abduction chaos, but they really should have had a more thorough examination at the hospital. Since Sharon witnessed Phyllis' medical crisis when they were locked up, she voiced concerns of her own in the March 19 episode and insisted Phyllis might need a doctor. Phyllis was drugged to get her into captivity before ingesting poison and a potentially sketchy antidote, so she's had all kinds of unidentified stuff in her system. Could Martin have another trick up his sleeve when it comes to the lingering effects on Phyllis? Time will tell, but Summer will continue to make some unsettling predictions about Phyllis' condition. The Young and the Restless spoilers say Billy Abbott will try to help Phyllis as well in the coming episodes, so stay tuned for more news on her health. That's where you want to be for fantastic Young and the Restless spoilers, news and updates, so make us your go-to Y&R source. The Young and the Restless spoilers hint that Sharon Newman could have 4 new romantic options to consider. Who will help Sharon move on from Nick Newman now that he's shut down a reunion? Sharon might get together with another ex on Canvas, but let's focus on some brand new pairing possibilities instead. It's always nice when the show can shake things up with some fresh flying sparks, so here are some new romantic candidates for Sharon. 1. Holden. Holden Novak would clearly like to reignite his romance with Audra Charles, but she may keep putting up a fight since she's committed to Nate Hastings. Although Holden flirted with Claire Newman as well, she's made a commitment of her own to Kyle Abbott and may not be willing to stray. It's easy to imagine Holden turning elsewhere for a sizzling hookup at some point. It wouldn't necessarily have to be anything serious between them, but Sharon and Holden just might have some chemistry if given the chance. Should Y and R let Holden and Sharon hit the sheets? 2. Damien. Damien Kane is another new guy on canvas who isn't officially taken yet. Although Damien is showing interest in Lily Winters, they're bound to face some major bumps in the road. Damien is keeping secrets when it comes to his agenda, so Lily won't be pleased once more details come to light. If Lily ultimately rejects Damien, at least for a while, he might land in bed with someone else. Would you be open to a Sharon and Damien pairing, even if it's just a one-night stand? 3. Aristotle Dumas. There's been a lot of talk about Aristotle Dumas, so maybe Sharon could become a love interest option for him once he inevitably hits Genoa City. It might be interesting to see Sharon fall for this shady business tycoon and perhaps bring out a softer side of him. 4. Daniel. Although Daniel Romalotti Jr. obviously isn't new on canvas, his romance with Sharon could be if Y and R decides to go there. Could Sharon and Daniel make a good match after moving beyond all the pain of the past? We can't think of a better way to put Sharon and Phyllis Summers, Michelle Stafford, newfound understanding to the test than to have Sharon sizzle with her son. Regardless, the young and the restless spoilers say Sharon deserves an opportunity to move on from Nick, so who will help her get started on that? Sharon will make some predictions about what's next and try to figure things out, so stay tuned for updates on any big romantic news that might be looming. The Young and the Restless preview video for the week of March 24-28 reveals that Traci Abbott will cry over fake Alan Laurent, while Billy Abbott finds Phyllis Summers in crisis. Y and R's weekly promo kicks off with Michael Baldwin picking up on a hint that Victor Newman offers, one that points to Victor's history with Aristotle Dumas. Once Victor confirms there's indeed a history, he may offer up a story to Michael. Based on Victor's expression in the preview clip, it seems whatever past he has with Aristotle might have involved some betrayals. In the park, Billy will step up for Phyllis, who'll be struggling with her emotions following all the captivity chaos. Phyllis won't be coping well at all, so she'll insist she can't let her kids see her like this. After Billy asks how he can help, Phyllis will admit she has an idea. It'll be interesting to see what exactly Phyllis will have in mind, and whether it'll genuinely help her move forward. Billy will no doubt come through for Phyllis if he can, but that could lead to some jealousy for Sally Spectra as these exes grow closer. Other Young and the Restless spoilers say Traci will face a realization that's both alarming and devastating. Once Traci makes a major discovery, she'll give Jack Abbott updates on some unsettling news involving Alan. I am not sure he is who he says he is. Traci declares in Y and R's weekly preview video with tears in her eyes. Once the kidnapper puzzle starts coming together for Traci, she may realize the real Alan would never do something so wild. Traci may start to suspect that Martin Laurent survived, and that he's swapped in for Alan, so it's easy to see why she'll be so distraught. It could leave Traci making some worried predictions about what Martin will do next. The Young and the Restless spoilers say Traci's blissful engagement bubble will burst, so stay tuned for what's ahead in this heartbreaking storyline. Young and Restless was limited to 3 episodes this week, as March Madness basketball brings its annual preemptions. Here's a look at what happened and what's coming up. History. I'll say this about Holden: Nate should be worried. He and Audra have amazing chemistry. As for Damien, I enjoyed continuing to see another side of him as he embraces not only his mother again, but also his new half-brother. He brought out a banter-y fun side of Lily last week, but that was gone in the scenes at Society where she and Devin saw Audra with Holden. It bugs me that the siblings are written so humorless much of the time. There's even a thread in Soap's message boards with the headline, "Devin and Lily were insufferable today." Maybe Holden should send a pitcher of margaritas to their table. Looking ahead, clearly, Damien's boss Aristotle Dumas is going to figure into the story somehow. And of course, Victor suddenly has a history with him. Breakdown. The kidnapping is over, but the scars remain, and the culprit is still on the loose. Hence, Philly's emotional struggles in the aftermath. It makes all the sense in the world. What I can't figure out is why Sharon is absolutely fine. Being locked up in a mental facility with her rival on the heels of being chained up in a dirty, cold sewer, drugged repeatedly, and being accused of murder, including the actual dumping of a dead body, suggests that she should also be having some issues right about now. Instead, she's focused on her love life. My take on Nick refusing her invitation to London: he'll eventually decide to go, or they'll eventually get together. The writers are just dragging it out. As for Phyllis, though Summer asked Nick to come and check on her mother with her, it's clearly Billy the redhead will be leaning on as we launch into a Sally/Billy/Phyllis love triangle. More, the real reason Sharon and Phyllis were kidnapped. Putting the pieces together. Traci's an award-winning novelist and, I believe, writes mysteries. Therefore, it shouldn't take her long to put the pieces together where Alan's concerned. With Kyle conveniently mentioning Sharon and Phyllis being rescued from an abandoned clinic right after Alan received a series of alerts about a breach on his phone, and Alan subsequently fleeing the country, it became all too easy to figure out. As happens all too often with the current writers, I literally felt the build-up in the storyline deflate when I saw the preview with Traci telling Jack she's worried that Alan isn't who he says he is. Why not keep Traci entirely in the dark for a shocking blindside at the wedding at least? While it will be satisfying to see Alan exposed, this is quickly shaping up to be another fumble/fizzle. The Young and the Restless spoilers hint that Ashley Abbott could be the next kidnapping victim. Will Ashley become Martin Laurent Ackett, Alan Lawrence, hostage in Paris? In Y&R's March 19 episode, Alan called Traci Abbott with some strange updates. Traci was stunned over the news that Alan was taking the last commercial flight to Paris instead of waiting on the Jabot jet. Of course, that meant Alan was headed to Paris alone. Over the phone, Alan suggested he had a surprise for Traci and that he wanted her to meet him there in a couple days. Traci was clearly puzzled over the change of plans, and things are only going to get weirder in the coming episodes. This is all building to Traci's realization that Alan may not be the real Alan at all. Martin obviously survived and has been posing as his twin brother, so what's he going to do next? If Martin is truly on his way to Paris, that could lead to trouble for Ashley since she's over there right now. Martin has fooled Ashley into thinking he's Alan before and could easily do it again, at least long enough to lure her into a trap. If Martin feels like the walls are closing in and decides he needs a hostage, Ashley could get kidnapped. Traci mentioned the idea of telling Ashley about their engagement in person, since they were traveling to Paris to check out wedding venues. Alan might meet with Ashley on his own and lull her into a false sense of security by playing up his big surprise. The real shocker may come for Ashley if Alan drugs her and ultimately stashes her somewhere. It's possible Martin will abduct Ashley and try to use her as a bargaining chip somehow. On the other hand, this could be part of another twisted game since Martin is off his rocker and capable of anything. Once Traci realizes Alan's trick, she may make a prediction about the peril that's still to come. Since Ashley is in Paris and Martin may be arriving there soon, a dangerous situation could erupt. The Young and the Restless spoilers say Eileen Davidson has filmed scenes that haven't aired yet, so stay tuned to see how Ashley might get dragged into the drama. The Young and the Restless spoilers indicate that Victor Newman and Aristotle Dumas' chilling past will be revealed. Michael Baldwin will learn the secret history Victor shares with Aristotle, so let's talk about what's in store. During the week of March 24-28, Michael will have a conversation with Victor that leaves him curious. It turns out Victor will make a comment regarding Aristotle that alludes to their former connection. That makes it sound like you and Dumas have a history I don't know about, Michael says to Victor in Y&R's weekly preview video. Victor will frown as he confirms he indeed has a history with Aristotle Dumas, but it apparently won't bring back any fond memories. There's a good chance whatever business Victor might have had with Aristotle ended badly. Since Victor is known for showing no mercy, it's possible he made a move against Aristotle and started a feud. We all know that Victor's willing to get down in the mud when it comes to corporate drama. Then again, maybe Aristotle was the one who made an enemy out of Victor instead. There could have been a situation where Aristotle played dirty and kicked off their rivalry years ago. In that case, Victor may have retaliated and sent Aristotle off to lick his wounds, at least until now. Aristotle might have spent some time becoming more powerful in preparation for a revenge plot. Regardless, Victor might be concerned about the possibility of Aristotle striking back based on some old grudge. Troubling news could be brewing depending on what Aristotle's got in store. Even if Victor and Aristotle's feud has been put to rest, you can bet Victor will remain worried about everyone at Winters now that Damien Kane's link to Aristotle has been exposed. Y&R is clearly playing Aristotle up as someone shady and mysterious who's capable of major manipulation. It sounds like Aristotle could become a new baddie in Genoa City, so stay tuned for updates on his agenda. The young and the restless spoilers say Victor will divulge his history with Aristotle Dumas and make some alarming predictions about what he's capable of, so don't miss what's ahead. The young and the restless spoilers document that Nick Newman opened the conversation with Sharon Newman, which has been going on for a long time. She was open to their deep discussion about potentially exploring a revival. Viewers who loved one of this show's classic couples when they were married long wanted a full reunion through to a second marriage. 2 failed trips to the altar in daytime days gone by left fans feeling cheated. The slow drip of this possibility, playing out over the past few years, has included many seemingly purposeful winks that the next version of Chic was realistic. Sharon Newman has been thinking about it. Sharon told what used to be called a white lie, which was not intended with malice. Nick asked her if she had ever thought about them getting back together. He asked that question based on her flirtations in more recent months and their growing closer to each other than they've been in years. Nick listened intently in the setting where they often met during Morrow's and Case's early years on Y&R. Crimson Lights is one of, if not the most frequently shunned spots in Genoa City, Wisconsin. The answer Sharon offered was partially true. She has thought about their times together, but also said that she hadn't daydreamed about him. Viewers know that she has and hopes to pursue love with him again. The trip to Europe should be dramatic. Nick encouraged Sharon to visit their son, Noah Newman, with Faith Newman in England. Gibson's character has been off-screen for a while with his girlfriend, Allie Abbott Newhan, who is Jack Abbott's granddaughter. The trip would be dramatic if Nick went along. Otherwise, it might not be seen, with Case potentially having time off after working extensively on back-to-back kidnapping storylines. Whether Nick goes or not, the potential of him and Sharon exploring a relationship again is encouraging. He didn't say no, and is considering going along, and what the implications would mean for all involved. Sharon understands Nick's need for time. Here's hoping that happens, because enough longtime fans and newer viewers would benefit from a well-crafted story beyond what's been explored in past years. Adam Newman realizes Chelsea Lawson's love. Well, there's no doubt now. With whatever comes next and however long it might last, Chelsea Lawson is falling back in love with Adam Newman. It took her a while to reach this point, and no one, especially Adam, blames her slow walk. But agreeing to move into the old ranch house provided a physical and emotional threshold that was crossed. Adam is serious about wanting to restore their family. Chelsea is on board with that now, too. Connor Newman always represented the unbreakable bond between his parents, who are seriously invested in putting past mistakes behind them. Chelsea is allowing herself to believe in Adam. As long as he stays steady, this attempt at revival should work. This site is a leading source for everything linked to the young and the restless. Check back regularly for Y and R spoilers and news. The Young and the Restless spoilers and updates tease that Claire Newman's potential pregnancy may be the key to stopping Summer Newman. Could Kyle Abbott's baby forge a lasting connection with Claire and alter everything, something that will tie them by blood? Summer and Kyle have a forever link in Harrison Abbott. Summer shares an unbreakable bond with Kyle, forged through their co-parenting of Harrison Abbott. As Harrison's adoptive mother, Summer will always have a connection to Kyle through their child. Fans of Y and R have noticed that Summer has been leveraging this relationship with Harrison to her benefit recently. Claire, who also cares for Harrison, is aware that this is a strategy Summer can employ without facing significant resistance from Kyle and his girlfriend. However, Claire is perceptive and can see through Summer's intentions, and she is not pleased about it. Claire's trying to hide her insecurities, but they're creeping up on her. Even though Claire tries to project confidence, her insecurities are becoming increasingly apparent and could potentially escalate into larger issues. Victor Newman has been emphasizing the importance of Summer and Kyle presenting a united front for Harrison's benefit. While Victor would ideally like to see both of his granddaughters free from Kyle, he clearly prefers Kyle to be with Summer rather than Claire. However, Claire might find a way to even the odds against Summer. With all the attention on the connection between Harrison, Kyle, and Summer, could Claire find herself pregnant, creating a lasting bond with Kyle? Interestingly, Claire's sneaky side could emerge. It could be intriguing to see Claire's mischievous side emerge in this scenario. After all, Jordan raised her, so that aspect of her personality is undoubtedly lurking beneath the surface, eager for a fresh storyline. What if Claire intentionally got pregnant, hoping it would secure her future with Kyle? If Summer finds Claire expecting Kyle's child, she could certainly accuse her of manipulation. Even if Claire's pregnancy results from an accidental birth control failure, Summer could still hurl accusations, intensifying their rivalry. Perhaps Summer might even attempt to influence Kyle's thoughts, suggesting that Claire is trying to ensnare him. A pregnancy is possible at any time now for Kyle and Claire. Regardless of the circumstances, Kyle and Claire have been sharing a bed for some time, paving the way for a potential pregnancy storyline if Y and R decides to explore that route. Upcoming spoilers indicate that Victor will persist in making grim forecasts about the future of Kyle and Claire, but will his predictions hold true? Could a baby for Kyle and Claire be the turning point Claire has been waiting for? The love triangle involving Summer, Kyle, and Claire is bound to take unexpected turns, so keep an eye out for any exciting developments on the horizon. The Young and the Restless spoilers title The Looming Shadow of Aristotle D's in the Turbulent World of Genoa City, where alliances shift as quickly as the wind and every whispered rumor carries the weight of destiny. A dark specter begins to emerge on the horizon, Aristotle Dumas. For years, Genoa City has been a stage for long-held grudges, secret vendettas, and unexpected alliances. But nothing has prepared its denizens for the chilling arrival of an enemy whose name alone can freeze the blood. For many years, ardent fans have speculated that Martin, the enigmatic figure whose motives and actions have often been shrouded in mystery, might be none other than Aristotle D's incarnate. The theory was alluring, a narrative twist that seemed perfectly in tune with Genoa City's history of hidden identities and double crosses. Yet, as the plot thickens, it becomes clear that Martin is not Aristotle D's. Instead, Aristotle stands as a separate, formidable force, a nemesis whose mere mention sends shivers down the spines of those who dare to recall the traumas of the past. Victor, the iron-willed patriarch and titan of industry, is perhaps the most haunted by the mention of Aristotle D's. To him, Aristotle is not just an adversary. He is a living embodiment of past horrors, a harbinger of unresolved conflicts that once tore his world apart. Victor's fear is palpable, mixed with a seething hatred that has been building for years. His face pales at the mere thought of Aristotle, for he knows all too well that Aristotle possesses the uncanny ability to unravel even the most meticulously laid plans. Solving complications that others have left fester, this ability, while seemingly a blessing to some, is a curse in Victor's eyes, a reminder of the times when his empire nearly crumbled under the weight of unforeseen calamities. It is said that Aristotle Dumas will soon set foot in Genoa City, but not before the tumultuous chapter involving Martin reaches its conclusion. The arrival of Aristotle is anticipated to mark the beginning of a new era of conflict, a fresh battle line drawn in the intricate war that has always defined Genoa City. With Martin's storyline gradually drawing to a close, the stage is being silently yet inexorably prepared for the next great confrontation. When Aristotle finally arrives, the balance of power is expected to shift dramatically. Victor, already wary of Aristotle's capabilities, will find himself caught between the old guard and emerging threats. Jack, a man whose complex history with Victor is filled with both bitter rivalry and reluctant camaraderie, will not stand idly by. Seizing the opportunity provided by this new crisis, Jack is poised to either ally with the mysterious newcomer or use his influence to further his own designs on Victor's empire. The tension is palpable. Will Jack join forces with Aristotle to bring down Victor? Or will circumstances force Victor to call upon Jack for a temporary alliance, echoing the days when former foes united against common enemies? The strategic dynamics of Genoa City have always been a delicate balance of power, where alliances are as fluid as shifting sands and betrayals are woven into the very fabric of everyday life. In this volatile environment, Michael, an ambitious and calculating player in this grand game, watches the developments with bated breath. Michael's curiosity borders on obsession. He is desperate to uncover the true identity and motivations of this new enemy. What is Aristotle Dumas's ultimate goal in Genoa City? What dark designs has he crafted behind his enigmatic persona? Michael's questions echo in the corridors of power as he prepares for the moment when he can finally confront the man who has long lurked in the shadows, waiting for his chance to tip the scales of destiny. Amidst these rising tensions, Victor issues a stern warning to Michael, cautioning him against complacency. "Do not underestimate the enemy, Michael," Victor admonishes, his voice grave and laden with the weight of past experiences. Aristotle is not merely a name. He is a force that can dismantle the very foundations upon which we have built our lives. In this game of power and survival, arrogance is the first step to downfall. Victor's warning resonates with every member of the intricate web of relationships in Genoa City. His own life has been marred by battles, both external and internal, fighting against foes who believed themselves invincible. Now, as the specter of Aristotle looms larger with each passing day, Victor finds himself haunted by memories of past betrayals and the ghosts of enemies long thought vanquished. The stakes have never been higher, and the paths that lie ahead are fraught with peril. The imminent arrival of Aristotle Dumas promises to redraw the map of allegiances and enmities in Genoa City. As Martin's storyline reaches its bittersweet conclusion, a new chapter is set to begin. A chapter where old wounds may reopen and new alliances will be forged, shaped in the crucible of conflict. In this volatile mix, Jack's role becomes even more critical. With a cunning mind and a history of shifting loyalties, Jack is not easily categorized. He is a man who knows that in times of crisis, survival often depends on embracing the unexpected. Whether he chooses to join forces with Aristotle or remain an independent player, watching the unfolding chaos from the sidelines remains to be seen. On the other side of this high-stakes equation stands Michael, whose anticipation is tinged with both excitement and trepidation. Michael sees in Aristotle not just an adversary, but an opportunity, a chance to unearth secrets that could redefine the power dynamics of Genoa City. His relentless pursuit of the truth drives him forward, even as he grapples with the realization that his own ambitions might inadvertently set the stage for further conflict. Michael's internal struggle is emblematic of the broader conflict at play, a conflict where personal vendettas and political maneuverings intersect in ways that are as unpredictable as they are dangerous. As the days draw nearer to Aristotle Dumas's arrival, Genoa City braces itself for the storm that is about to descend upon it. The city, long accustomed to the ebb and flow of power struggles, now faces the prospect of an upheaval that could alter its very identity. Old alliances will be tested, new ones will form, and in the midst of this turmoil, each character must confront their own demons and make choices that will have lasting consequences. Victor's legacy, built on years of hard-fought battles and relentless ambition, now hangs in the balance. Will his deep-seated fear of Aristotle's prove to be a weakness that his enemies can exploit? Or will his decades of experience in navigating the treacherous waters of Genoa City serve him well in the battles to come? Meanwhile, Jack's shifting allegiances and Michael's insatiable curiosity add layers of complexity to an already intricate narrative, ensuring that every decision, every alliance, and every betrayal will reverberate through the corridors of power. In the end, the story of Aristotle's is not just about one man's quest for power, it is a reflection of the eternal struggle between light and darkness, between order and chaos. Genoa City, with all its glamour and grit, stands as a microcosm of these timeless conflicts, a place where every whispered rumor, every secret meeting, and every act of defiance contributes to the grand tapestry of destiny. As the city waits with bated breath for the moment when Martin's saga concludes and Aristotle steps onto the stage, the promise of new alliances, renewed rivalries, and the resurgence of old conflicts fills the air. The drama is far from over. If anything, it is about to reach a fever pitch, a dramatic crescendo where the past, present, and future collide in a spectacular display of ambition, betrayal, and the unyielding quest for power. And so, with a mixture of dread and anticipation, the residents of Genoa City prepare for the arrival of Aristotle Dumas, a man whose very presence promises to redefine the course of their lives and remind them that in this game of power, no one is ever truly safe. The young and the restless spoilers suggest that fans should always expect the unexpected in the land of Genoa City. Right now, the drama in the little town is hitting a fever pitch. However, there is always the possibility that some major plot twists hit that could shake things up even more. What could go down? Time to speculate. Alan is not Martin, but actually Alan, undercover mental health issues. When fans found out that Alan Laurent was the one behind Phyllis and Sharon Newman's kidnapping, everyone assumed that Alan was really his evil twin brother, Martin Laurent, who loved parading around as his brother. Audiences have long suspected that Alan was the one who passed away after the twins struggle and tumble off a balcony in Paris last year that caused Martin's death. Many believed that Martin switched spots with Alan at that point and assumed his identity. That may be the case, but what if it isn't? Maybe Alan's odd behavior is because he suffered from a mental health illness in light of everything that's happened in his life, and being the reason behind his brother's passing. Maybe Alan isn't Martin, but really Alan, coping with a mental disorder. While Philly reunites, Sally and Daniel hook up. Phyllis and Billy Abbott are getting closer, and as he was one of the heroes in rescuing her, this will only bond the two that much further. As she and Billy head toward a romantic reunion, Sally Spectra will find herself suddenly single again. But guess who else in Genoa City is single? Daniel Romalotti is still mourning the passing of his partner, Heather Stevens, but this doesn't mean he may not decide it's time to move on. How upset would Phyllis be when she realized that by snagging Billy from Sally, she opened the door to the redhead to engage in romance with her son? Jordan is alive. Fans know Ian Ward is alive and well and just waiting for the villain to pounce again. One thing that would be a shocking plot twist is if Jordan strikes and returns before Ian does. May Sweeps is around the corner, so anything is possible. Michael Graziadei shocked fans with a BTS photo. The shot showed disastrous results for his on-screen persona. The young and the restless fans wondered if Daniel was headed for more trouble. Bloody mess. On Wednesday, March 19, Graziadei shared a new BTS shot on Instagram. The photo featured Graziadei dressed in a black blazer as his character, Daniel. Makeup artist Stacey Browning squeezed red liquid onto the back of his head to make it look like a bloody mess. In his post, Graziadei shared his appreciation for the artist. BTS of Stacey Browning makeup getting me ready for a bloody good time Howard Wise, Graziadei captioned the shot. The actor had fun with this thrilling scene. However, it teased disastrous results for his alter ego. Meanwhile, Y and R fans were shocked by this shot. They wondered if this was a teaser that Daniel could end up in trouble again. They scrambled to the comment section to decipher this post. One fan realized that Graziadei's post was a throwback photo. They also had a great idea for Daniel's character. That scene was hilarious because we all know Daniel will eventually end up with Sharon'S romantically. Imagine Philly's reaction, the user joked. We would love to see Sharon and Daniel strike up a romance despite what they went through. Browning was present in the comment section. She wrote that she missed working with Graziadei. Another eagle-eyed fan took notice of their interaction. Since Stacey is saying miss you, I'm assuming this is an old scene, that user noted. Meanwhile, a third fan recalled the scene when Sharon dreamed about killing Daniel. They wanted to know what made the blood look so realistic. What's the blood made of, Michael? The user asked. Read this. Daniel goes in a shocking new direction on Y and R. Sharon's dream. Most Y and R fans guessed it right. The scene was from Sharon's dream. At the time, she struggled with her bipolar disorder since Ian and Jordan tampered with her medication. The devious duo made her think that she wanted to kill Daniel and his wife Heather. She even dreamed about killing Daniel. Unfortunately, Heather was the one who was left for dead by the two supervillains. What are your thoughts on Graziadei's throwback post? Let us know in the comment section.